I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. Cheryl, do you want to do a roll call, please?
James Edad.
Present.
John DeFasto.
Here.
Art Allegeri.
Here.
William Shaw.
Here.
Donna Shaw. Here. Paul Wojtek.
Here.
Suzanne Weber. Yes. Robert Zona. Bob Enos.
Here.
Douglas Kruger.
Here.
Nancy Shea. Here. Marcia Terry.
Okay, the record show we have a quorum present. The first order of business is to approve last meeting's minutes. Cheryl circulated them, and I know a few people had a couple comments. They were included in your packet for tonight's meeting. Does anybody have, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'm going to make a motion first to amend one of the parts.
Okay.
Because if you make a motion for something, it has to be voted on unless you withdraw it. That's Robert's Rules of Order. So when you go to the bottom of the first page and it says Jim Dedad, then you read accept the nomination for treasurer. After that, I withdrew my nomination of Bill Shaw, and that has to be in there because if I didn't withdraw it, it would still be on the table. So that's all it needs to say is after which Sue Weber withdrew her nomination of William Shaw. That just needs inserted in there.
Okay. We can make an adjustment. Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes as amended? Motion. Motion by Jim, seconded by Bill. Any questions? Comments? No? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. I think we have a microphone somewhere, or up here. If anybody has anything they'd like to address the board, commission, if you want to let the record show that Marcia came at 4:34. Join the meeting.
Thank you.
If there's no public comments, we will go to old business. One of the items we talked about last meeting was bringing on board of a recording secretary. I did receive, and I think we shared it with the commission members, a proposal from Cheryl Williams to provide services at cost of $40 per hour. I did have one question, and I talked to Cheryl briefly via email, if that was going to be in the form of a 1099 role or salary. Did you get that worked out with the township?
They're still determining if they can do it by salary or not.
Okay, that was the only question I had. You're okay either way? Okay, that was my only question. If anybody would like to make a motion to accept her proposal, I would suggest we make it in a proposal to not to exceed $7,500. She estimated about 175 hours, which works out to 7,500.
I'll make that motion. We could always change it later.
Yeah, and if we have to change it later, we could always amend that. But if there's anybody like to make a motion, Sue made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Donna. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a comment on Cheryl regarding open records type things. I didn't see anything in here, but is that something that you'd be able to help us with should the need occur?
Yes, I am the regional officer.
Yes, that was in her title, I think, because I did see that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you would do that for us?
I will, and I can add that to the proposal.
Yeah. And you would maintain all the records, so if one did come through,
Yes.
as secretary, you and I would get together and figure it out.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl, for
Great.
us. Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, congratulations, Cheryl. Thank you for your proposal, and look forward to working with you. Great. Next on the agenda, website. We did talk about website, having a separate website, or having it on the township's website, from a ease of use and the ease of getting it set up. It might be easier to do it on the township, but if there's questions or comments, you might want to do something different, we can entertain those now.
It's my understanding that, you're thinking, that it's unusual for a commission to have their own website. But if we have some costs, one versus the other to look at, that might sway our decision.
But what's the township gonna charge us to do that, we don't know.
I believe it was relatively, I mean, it was pretty cheap to add a pager for us versus getting our own domain and things.
Who will administer it and keep changing the things that go on it? What will they charge for that,
Good question.
you know?
Well, that might be part of our committees too, that we're going to form.
What the IT committee,
Mm-hmm.
or public information,
Public relations.
public relations, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, why don't we, well, I don't know, I don't think we have, I'll leave it up to the rest of the commissioners. Do we feel like we have enough information to take any action on that at this point?
Who's able to get us a cost of administering it, you know, changing it, updating it? Who's able to get us a cost with the township for that?
Can I just?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry. I just want to say that typically when you get your consultant on here, and then that would be part of the budget committee to propose whatever those prices were.
Thanks, Terry. That was Terry.
Thank you.
30 minutes. Yeah, and like I said, maybe we'll just, you know, it was a good discussion, brief discussion. We have a couple options, so maybe we'll address it once we get to the.
I make a move that we table this discussion until our consultant,
Okay, we didn't have any motions, so
I said,
I don't know if we have to table anything, but we could just push it back to the next meeting.
okay.
And then the next item on the agenda is meeting procedures. And one of the things that we want to make sure we get set up, and I was talking briefly with Bill from the McKeel Land and Cheryl from the township, about having remote access to these meetings for the members. The WQL Land does provide remote access to the public. But as far as attending, we were looking at possibly using a Teams platform. That doesn't seem like that's an option at this point. I think we may have the ability to call in and participate. It does limit the ability to see each other, but as long as we can hear and we can discuss the matters at hand, I think as the committees start getting into the meat and potatoes of this thing, that's going to probably be just as important as being able to see each other. But the one thing we want to do is, I think we need a motion. Mark, maybe I'll look at Mark for some guidance here. A motion to have to be able to vote on telephone like remotely like that, or to accept a remote attendance. Do we have to have a motion that we would have our meetings to do that?
Terry, do you know?
I mean, if we made a motion to accept remote attendance, I think it would hurt, right? Would anybody like to make a motion to allow board members to attend the meetings remotely via call-in and or whatever platform would be available?
I'll make a motion, they do that for planning commission and zoning right in this room, so.
Thank you, Sue. We have a motion on.
I'll second.
Seconded by Jim.
Yeah, the only thing is that, and I know Mark's both shaking their heads, you just have to be able to be heard and the public has to be able to hear you.
Right. As long as we can be
You
heard.
have to hear them and they can hear you.
And, it's going to be our goal, well, the discussion after the second step, it's going to be our goal to have as many people here as we can. But if we can't make it, yes, Mark?
My only comment would be is if you do that or when you do that, to make sure you have a microphone handy, so that typically when, at supervisor meetings, we'll have, they'll call in remotely, and we just make sure that the mic is by the phone.
Yes.
And so that's my only comment.
Great. So if we were doing it now, we'd probably have something right here, right? On the phone by one of these WQL lenses that's projected, I guess, in the building, in the room here. Yeah, so if we have a motion and a second Does anybody have any other questions or comments on that? So what we're talking about is remote attendance, remote voting, as long as, the public can hear, as long as we can be heard and hear the discussion on topics, we can attend remotely. Is there any other questions or comments? If, yeah, Mark.
Sorry to be a pest. Would the requirement be that there at least have to be a certain number of members in person? So in other words, you don't have a scenario where everyone calls in.
We would, I don't think we have that as part of this motion.
That's why I just.
Right. I know it's been suggested, recommended strongly, that we have at least a quorum, meaning 4 members present, to have a meeting. Do we want to amend that resolution or that motion to say that?
Let me ask John DeClasso a question. When you did this for school board, how did you address that issue?
It really wasn't an issue. Somebody called in, we set it up. And
But what I mean is, did you require a certain
Quorum
number of
in
people
person.
physically present at quorum, or no, it could be even a quorum on the phone?
I mean, we never got to that point. Where there were more people on the
Who's
phone.
gonna be here then, put your phone with the microphone, if you're all not here.
Well, I know at Land Bank, we have, actually have teams, but sometimes there'll be, 4 or 5 people that they have to be remote, and their vote still counts.
Yeah, now I know that, in my previous life during COVID, everybody was remote, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's how you conduct the business. So it's, I know it's highly recommended we have a quorum present, but it's up to the commission. I think we have the ability to make our decision which way we want to go on this. We have a motion out there that says we can attend remotely and vote remotely. Are we okay with that? Just have the goal to be a quorum here in person? Leave it at that? I'm okay with that.
Call the question on the motion. Call the question on the motion. I can vote on it.
Okay, let the record show that RJ just showed up at 4:43. Call the motion, I'm gonna call for the vote, what you're asking me, Bill? Call for the vote? Okay, any other comments or questions?
Can you restate the motion?
The motion is to allow, you made it, the motion is to allow remote attendance and voting as long as the public can hear us and we can hear the discussion to be able to vote on the work. And we had a second on that. Is there any other questions or comments? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Our goal will be to try to have at least 4 people present if possible, but you never know if we get stuck. We just had 4 feet of snow 2 weeks ago. If that happens again, we may have to do it remotely. New business. We have the RFPs. Okay, the new businesses for to discuss here. We have the RFPs coming in. They're due on the 23rd of December. In an effort to try to get the consultant on board a little sooner than waiting, we were hoping to have a recommendation to the township for their January 6th organizational meeting. To do that, we probably need to convene a special meeting, and I had suggested, in talking with the folks here at the township about this room, that January 2nd would be a day that we would have access to this facility, and then also be able to have a recommendation, if we have a recommendation, hopefully to the supervisors for their Monday, January 6th meeting, January 6th, 2025. So I'm just throwing out there that we have a special meeting on the 2nd at 5:30, just like the other
We have
meetings.
it at 6, or is that too late?
It doesn't matter. I think you're out of town there, so
Well,
races.
I'm gonna flip it back here, but I have to.
Well, I mean, 6
wanna
o'clock
be
will work
out.
too. It was proposed. We only had it proposed. It's only gonna be a one item meeting, so I think if everybody would be okay with 6 o'clock.
What day again?
January 2nd, the Friday, right after the holiday.
6 o'clock.
And you can call in too, we'll have the call-in thing.
So we'll set up, and I know I spoke with Attorney Shaw. I think the supervisor the meeting agenda already has that on there, just in case we had a recommendation, correct? On the organizational meeting for the supervisors,
We can certainly add it to the agenda. We only need to have the agenda published 24 hours before the meeting.
Yeah, and the fact that that would be Sunday, that's why I want to make sure that, we at least touch base on that. Because our meeting will be Friday at 6, the staff will be on.
The second is Thursday, Paul.
It's a
Yeah.
Thursday. Oh, it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you'll have the approval of the consultant on your agenda for the 6th, right?
That gives us an extra day, I'm sorry, thanks for the correction. I was thinking, we're having a 6 o'clock meeting and they might have the agenda on Sunday, so that gives them Friday to make the agenda. Perfect. Is everybody okay with that? We don't have to have a motion for that, I don't believe, because schedule a meeting or schedule a special meeting.
Well, I guess we do have
Oh,
a
wait,
motion.
Cheryl's nodding again.
I'll make the motion that we have our special meeting to review the RFPs and select a consultant on January 2nd at 6 p.m. in this room.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Art. Any questions or comments on that? I'll take a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great.
Have we gotten any, excuse me?
Yes.
Paul, have we gotten any replies? I know it's still early.
No, I did see that both organizations that we sent them to responded to Mark and said, thank you, we plan on submitting, getting back to you.
Okay, just wondered.
One seemed a little bit more anxious than the other, but they both said they would respond one way or the other. So,
Thank you.
okay, moving right along, we do have committee reports, and the only committee we have is our budget committee.
Yes.
Jim, if there's anything to report, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Sure, just a little bit. So, I met with Terry and Mary from DCED, as well as Doug was able to join from the committee. Basically, was to get a little bit of guidance on detailed items to consider as we put this budget together. But it was also advised that we can wait. We will also have some ideas on what we should be considering to be in that budget. And in the meantime, there are funds budgeted. I don't know if you use this word, it's kind of a place. To the initial period here. And it's a lump sum, I think it works out to be like $1.85 per resident. And so that's kind of right in line with what we had thought. But we need to break that down into the detailed components. And so I think we'll, budget committee, I'll meet with them in early January before our first meeting, official January.
Good. Any questions from Jim?
As we get going here, how are the funds going to be dispersed? I mean, Cheryl's going to be on board here, and other things are going to be happening. Do we write a check, or
No,
how's that work?
It's my understanding that I'll be coordinating with the township.
It sounds good.
The township?
We just make recommendations.
Okay.
Any other questions from Jim? We can move on. Okay, thanks, Jim. And I know that we have the budget committee is yourself, Bill, Sue, and Doug.
You'll get it.
Doug.
Yeah, 64191, we'll be fine.
We might catch that on the way.
It's okay. Anyway, very good. We do plan on creating more committees once we have the consultant on board to give us a little guidance on that. So we will go down that road. Okay, great. Next on the agenda, other business. Does anybody have any other business to bring to the table before?
Terry, is there anything you think we should cover that we don't have on?
I think you're doing good.
So,
Geared down for the holidays here and getting the consultant board and moving forward. And then you'll start really moving in January.
so Terry, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh.
I hate to ask you questions we didn't rehearse, right?
Oh.
How long will you be, I know Mary's gonna be taking over, our efforts here. But just from Cheryl's perspective, how long do you think we should keep you in the loop of, beyond the things going on here?
So I say remove me from your.
Would be
No, Mary just had said that, she would feel comfortable keeping me on here. here in the beginning, and, yeah, and then we're good, we're good.
Okay,
When do you start your new region?
I was in Somerset last night, 6 miles from the Maryland border till I got home at 10:30 and back here today, so.
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. We'll, and like I said, we'll move through and then Mary will pick everything up here. And like I said, Mary's not foreign to municipal
Right,
government.
right.
She has 15 years.
well, I just meant from Cheryl's perspective of how long,
Keep me on.
we don't wanna pester you if you have all these
No,
other
that's
clients,
fine. I'll let Cheryl know or Mary will let
Okay.
you know that, hey,
Very good.
Terry said she's done with you. And me.
That works for me. Okay, great. Any other business? Okay, if not, we'll move on. We have another thing for public comment. If there's anybody from the public, Mr. Grove.
Okay. I turn this.
Do whatever you want.
John Grove, former Mill Creek supervisor, currently a Mill. Also, I'm kind of a local government nerd. I'm an instructor with the Pennsylvania Boroughs Association. Something I wanted to mention, in case you haven't heard already, please, I don't want to seem like I'm talking down. That's not. On January 6th, is that correct, Cheryl? The reorganizational meeting of the Mill Creek supervisors, it's at 9 o'clock. And then the following day, the Mill Creek Township auditors meet at 1 o'clock. These are great opportunities to see how Mill Creek Township government works, and that's actually the same way all the governments, all township governments work, the second class. And so if you have the time and the interest to do that, you can get a really first-hand experience of what it's like. All the stuff that the supervisors have to go through, appointing and reappointing people, the financial matters that they go through. Then the auditors meet, like I said, on the next day, Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And these are all public meetings, of course. Okay? So I would suggest, and just kind of urge you to come if you haven't been through one of these. Everybody has to experience it at least once, I guess. And so I just wanted to mention that. But one other thing here too. Back in 2018, Mill Creek supervisors, I was on board at that time, we had passed and approved what they still call it the Embrace Mill Creek Plan. I just call it a comprehensive plan. And part of that we had a study done by the Pennsylvania Economy League. This was a preemptive study to avoid Act 47, which, as many of you know, is municipal bankruptcy. And this study that was done and very well presented by the Economy League gave some good ideas of things that we could do to avoid going into some sort of financial straits. And so it might be worth looking at. I think it is still on the township website, part of the comprehensive plan. And look at it. It is kind of lengthy and wordy and so on, but I would suggest looking at that. That might give you some idea. By no means am I making an endorsement for the Economy League. I think that's one of the contractors we're looking at for being a consultant. I know there's 4 or 5 of them we're looking at. But just look at that. That might give you some idea of where the township was in 2018. Now, keep in mind, as we know, we had the COVID thing going on in 2020 and the financial problems that are going on everywhere nowadays. So some of those things have to be looked at in a little different light now. So I just wanted to throw that out there, folks. So, that's it. So thanks for letting me talk.
Will the treasurer be reappointed this year at the organizational meeting?
Okay, I'm sorry. Art asked me something first. I'm sorry. I heard one of you two talk. I thought it was Art.
I was going to ask to repeat those dates. January 6th.
January 6th. Is that correct, Cheryl?
At 9 o'clock.
That's on Monday, right?
Yes, and that's the organizational meeting, and then at 9:30 is actually a regular.
Regular meeting. Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot to include that.
And January 7th is 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock for the Board of Auditors.
So you both meetings
In this meeting, I believe, yes. Okay. Now, you had asked about.
Are you following if the treasurer will be reappointed? You've done that before.
Well, of course, they do have a new treasurer now. Okay. And Melanie Page, yeah, she was appointed there back in June, I think it was, after that whole situation was over.
And then how is it reorganization?
Yeah, the treasurer would be appointed or reappointed, whoever that might be. Same with the solicitor, engineering firm, if there's an engineering firm that we might have, and so on. Any other agents. working under contract for the township. So, like I said, it's a good idea. If you wanna, we'll bring popcorn and, you can watch and ask questions.
Taking your time to come here.
Anyway, thanks.
Appreciate it, John. Always good to see you.
Thanks,
Thanks for those comments. Anybody else, from the public comment section?
If there's no more, I'd like to follow up with what you just said. Remember I gave you guys your homework?
Yes.
Second class township code books. It went back and forth. They did make you copies. I know that they're coming. The supplement that I had discussed is not coming out for a couple more months. So you are just gonna get the orange book that I showed you. I don't know, I think I don't know how they printed it. It might not be orange, it just might be a printout. Second of all, just to follow up with what you said, if you read your code books, you'll know that in the second class township, you have to organize every year on the first Monday following the first. And then the auditors who have to approve any working supervisor's wages meet the following day. So it is really good learning experience to see those meetings and how the government works. And I would encourage you to start attending their meetings as well, so that you know how their meetings are run and the things that they're coming up with. Because remember, I said part of the education process is becoming involved in learning. And that is a good way to start to learn. That was very, very good comments from him. The thing I wanted to follow up with the report that he's talking about was it's called the Early Intervention Program, which is now the STAMP program, the Strategic Management Program that Pell was contracted to provide that 5-year financial report. So, and the elected officials came in several other times for funding to implement some of those recommendations that were made. So that is a good plan to review, a very good point for them to take a look at that. If you can't get it off the website, I can email all of you guys. I'll just attach the email copy of that report if you would like.
If they send us a link, that'd be real nice.
Yeah, I can email you the entire report in entirety that you guys would just have it as a hard
Oh,
copy.
you have access to that?
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh.
No, I mean, DCED, that's where, like I've worked with the elected officials here throughout the time coming in for subsequent phases.
Good.
For grants. So, but yeah, no, when I say it's mine, it's not mine. I have a copy of it because I worked with them throughout that process. So, I can email you guys that copy.
Art, were you getting through, Representative Zarro, is he ordering books?
Yes, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
Terry that. I
They did.
stopped and he's doing it. I
Yes,
assume you're
PJ's
sourcing
been-
the same.
Yeah, PJ's been emailing me to make
Okay.
sure that he had the up-to-date version.
He said that he would call either myself or Paul when they were in.
Yeah,
I got that stuff.
yeah.
They don't have the amendments, they don't have the little pamphlet with the amendments.
That is not going to come out. That amendment has not come out. I knew there was an amendment and a supplement, but it will not be. I called the local government commission. It'll be coming out in about 2 months. So the amendment will be coming out in about 2 to 3 months for that's when the supplement comes out. So Cheryl will probably get a copy. Cheryl, do you see the copies of the amendments when they come? So when she gets a copy of it's called a cumulative supplement. Number one, when you get a copy of that, just let them know, yeah.
But there's never a place online where as things are amended, they amend that.
Yeah, it is. DCED, Second Class Township Code. Pull it up, hit the link, and right there it is. It's amended. It gets amended on our site
So you can just
and on the
print it
local
out.
government commission site.
Okay, you can just print that out, and it'll be all the current amendments already in it.
The online document is always current. So you can either go to the local government commission, LGC, or you can go to DCED, Second Class Township Code, and it'll pop right up and you can print it out. No, it's very lengthy.
We should have those before the January 2nd meeting because he told me 2 weeks and that was 10 days ago. So we certainly should have those before the January 2nd.
Yeah, I just got the final email today to confirm that it was the correct version that he was printing.
RJ?
I just had a question, whether the township meeting and the auditors meeting is broadcast or streamed real time?
Yes.
They both are? So if anybody,
If you can't make it,
there you go.
You can always go back on YouTube and listen to any of these meetings you want.
The auditor meeting is not.
The
auditor meeting is not.
The auditor's meeting is not live streaming.
Bill said no.
Okay. Any other comments? Questions? Okay. Good of the order? Anything for the good of the order? Mark, I have a quick question, good of the order. Cheryl presented me with the minutes, and she has all 7 names on there. Do we need 7 people to sign off on those, or chairman good, or vice chair, or secretary?
I don't know exactly offhand, but I'd probably suggest all 7.
Okay, I was gonna say, it doesn't hurt to have too many, right? Or all in attendance, maybe, I don't know if we have to set that as a policy for us, all those in attendance, because if you're, we don't wanna hold up approved minutes and somebody's not available.
I would think as long as you have a majority, as long as you have a majority sign off.
Okay, the majority of them. That's what do that. I don't know if we need a motion for that. I'm not gonna, we'll go with what we have and we'll just keep them. So that said, before you leave, make sure you sign the minutes. I have the approved minutes here. Yeah, it's Donna.
I have a question about the signage that's still up over at Interchange Road and Peach Street.
There's one there.
It's in a very dangerous spot, and
I've been meaning to snag it. It's right there, but the traffic's always going too fast. So I told my husband, the next time it's not, we'll go early in the morning and I'll pull over and he can snag it.
I saw it this week and it bothered me that we still
We'll get it, I
had a
promise.
sign up that said vote yes for the milkshake.
Where is it?
Beach and,
Peach
So
and
Interchange and-
Interchange.
oh,
And-
right.
Is that island thing there?
Yeah, it's on an island.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
taking your
And
license.
it's-
Yeah, that is a spot there.
Well, it's bothering me too, and we'll get it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how we're gonna do it. We'll get it.
Put a hook on your car so you can.
So I just told him, you get out, you need to.
So, yeah, page, Jim?
Yeah, so you decide on hard copies versus, bringing them to laptops for.
For future agendas, I think if we, I know Cheryl, you printed up everything today, it was really nice to have that. If you just send them out electronically, I mean, that way too, if you want a hard copy, each of us, or if you just want to use it on your iPad, not everybody might have an iPad. Jim was asking the question is, do we want to circulate hard copies of agendas? I think that the electronic version, if you want a hard copy, which I did in my notes, just print it out.
Just print it out.
Is everybody okay with that?
We also need the,
Yes, and- go ahead.
in case people aren't gonna be here on January 2nd, we need the phone number to call in here. So you don't get that phone number, but I can get that for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just for good of the order, I will not be in attendance on that meeting in person. I will review the things. I'm gonna be out of town. I'll get the proposals. I'll review them briefly and I'll send them out there. But if you review, but I will.
January
January
2nd.
2nd.
And then you're gonna call in.
And that's, yeah, I did talk to Matt Wallinger and Cheryl about getting that number, to make sure that, I can participate on that. But, once we get it, Cheryl, you'll circulate it to everybody, that way we'll have the ability to do that. Great. Bill, is there any, this bill here from, Killen, is there any way to watch the broadcast, live stream, without having WPL on a computer or on a laptop remotely?
So it's through YouTube, so if you have the YouTube app on your phone or things
Yeah.
like that, it would still show up.
And it'll show up? Okay, great.
So it's through Milton Township's YouTube page.
Oh, okay, so, the fact I'll be at remote, I can turn my sound down and talk on the phone, but I get to see what's going on here.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's great, thank you. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Darn, I'm gonna shoot for 5 o'clock. But thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by Art, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, we adjourn. Merry Christmas, everybody, happy holidays.